you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.
Time for another edition of Carmentary, English edition. Just jump right into it. I signed up for YouTube Music Family Premium Family, something like that. It's a service that YouTube has now where you can stream all the music you like. If you go with the premium, you can even have all the music offline, so you don't actually have to be connected to the internet. And you can download all these different songs, have them on your device, listen to them whenever you want. I went with the Family Premium, which is it's like 1,480 yen a month. You get up to like 6 family members, and they can all listen on their own devices, stream all the music they want as well, blah, blah, blah. I've been waiting to do this for a while because, you know, I understand that everything, and I've talked about this before, everything is going to the streaming model now. We stream movies, we stream music, you know, everything's being streamed. And I thought, okay, you know, I've held off for a long time. I just felt like, I don't know, I got a ton of music, you know, I listen to what I want when I want. But I admit that I was not really getting a lot of new music like I used to. And I realized that. And I was like, you know, hey, where can you go to buy CDs anymore, right? It doesn't exist. So I thought, okay, screw it. I'm going to get a musical streaming service, and there's Spotify, there's a whole bunch. But I thought, no, man, I'm a YouTube fan. I do all my stuff on YouTube. I might as well keep this in the family, so to speak. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go with YouTube. I know my daughter, Sienna, she's 12 years old, 13 years old. She is really into music now, listening to all the kind of pop music. And they just stream the songs straight off of YouTube, like watching the music videos. But, you know, I don't want them watching the music videos all the time and having to go to YouTube to access their music. Let's do it through a music streaming service. Okay, so I got that, and I kind of just really set it up today. And that got me thinking about a couple things, and that brought me to my topic, which is music, and the music, well, okay, I don't know what the title is. Basically, what it got me thinking is that at 47 years old, when I started like listening to music as a little kid, obviously it was all analog music, records, it was analog records, and it was cassette tapes. And I remember, I have a very vivid memory of being in a car when I was really young, and there was an 8-track cassette tape. You remember those? They're like these big, thick cassette tapes. I think it was John Denver. And my parents were playing John Denver on an 8-track tape. And that was kind of like my introduction to music in the car. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I always remember that. CDs. Things changed to CDs. Around that time, when I moved to Japan in 1991, I got a job as a radio DJ on the local radio station here in Hokkaido. It was like the biggest, it was like the only FM radio station to speak of in Hokkaido at the time. At 20 years old, I suddenly found myself as a music DJ on a radio station broadcasting to an island with a population of 5 million people. And I had never thought I'm going to be a DJ. I had never had a goal to be a DJ. I liked music, but music wasn't like my end all. It wasn't like, oh man, I got to do something musically. My whole thing was visual stuff. I wanted to be, you know, a movie maker, photographer, videographer, cinematography, something. And suddenly I was thrown into this world of music. And it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Really, I still say that. I still really believe that, because I worked there for 7 years, and that was like going to university and learning about just music. I never learned to play an instrument, but I learned a ton about all kinds of music. And it was the 90s. It was from 1991 like 1998 that I worked there. So that whole period of music, when I came to Japan, I was really into, rock. It was Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jane's Addiction, all of that stuff. And then I got over here and it was Nirvana, and it was Green Day, and it was, it was all that kind of Northwestern grunge rock. I was still into like Guns N' Roses and Metallica and kind of bigger rock and heavy metal sounds that were popular in the States at the time. But over here, I suddenly got a whole new set with black contemporary music. That's what they were into at the time at the radio station. I'm like, we should be playing Red Hot Chili Peppers. And they're like, no. We should be playing Bobby Brown. And we should be playing Whitney Houston. And we should be playing this and that. And there was a ton of, black contemporary music at the time. All different little subgenres. And then with that came, hip-hop and rap. And, then I really got into that. And it was like, okay, this is cool. I'm not really into the Bobby Brown. Like, I understand it, and I'll introduce it and play it on the radio, but it wasn't really my thing. But the rap, you had NWA, you had Too Short, you had, it was pretty hardcore kind of street rap at the time. I remember we even played a song by Two Live Crew. The director of my show was like, we got to play this song. It's popular. And I'm like, you can't play Two Live Crew on the radio. It was like the dirtiest rap ever, right? It was just like, I won't even go into it. It was all the bad words lined up one after the other. And I remember they played that, and like a couple foreigners actually called in and complained. And I was like, well, of course someone's going to complain. That's like, you just can't play that. Anyway, so I got this whole kind of introduction into hip-hop and rap music. Classical, AOR, jazz, funk, everything. I was kind of into all of it. And, one of my senpai, one of the guys who taught me a ton, it was one of the directors there, he was a DJ. And he got me, like, back into analog records. And actually, like, DJing hands-on with the vinyl in a DJ booth. And I fell in love with that and started buying records like crazy. So I still to this day have a huge record collection in my house. I don't do much of them anymore, but just analog and records and vinyl is like, it's a super important thing to me still to this day. And so that's when I really got into like real funk and soul and R&B and black music was with the records. Like, that made the difference. Once I heard it, on the analog, on the records, it sounded so much better. And it was kind of a revelation. I was like, oh, this is amazing. So then it was definitely jazz funk, brand new heavies, Mother Earth, all those bands coming out of the UK at the time were really amazing. Some of it was a little light for my taste. I really kind of preferred a heavier kind of funk, Parliament, classic George Clinton, Bootsy, that kind of funk. I learned a lot of that as well. James Brown, all the majors. And so that was kind of, then I had records. I knew a lot about music, but I focused on what I liked and bought what I liked. Was still getting a lot of CDs. And then at the end of the 90s, that's when, I quit the radio job and I really switched over to the video work. And that wasn't like the end of music for me by any means. I still love music and listen to music, but now music became like the soundtrack for the videos and the visual projects that I was producing over the next 10 years and even up until today. So at some point, I gotta admit, I kind of stopped buying vinyl as much. I would still buy a few. I would find some cool records, and if I traveled, I'd go to a record store and buy a couple. But my record collection didn't increase that much after I quit doing a lot of DJing. And CDs, the same thing. And I always really hated CDs because I thought they sucked compared to vinyl. So I stopped buying CDs. And now in 2019, we've kind of come full circle, and music is now really accessible again through the internet and through these streaming services. And so what happened today when I signed up for that YouTube music service, you turn it on, you sign in, and right away it says, okay, we're going to set you up with the music you like, so tell us what artists you like. And they have all these little circles with pictures of the artist and the name underneath, and you go and you start clicking, and you start selecting all the artists you like. And the first one, like in the first row, was like Metallica. I was like, yeah, I like Metallica. Yeah, that's good. Metallica. Okay, what's next? And I start hitting some, okay, Stevie Wonder. I like Stevie Wonder. Sade. I like Sade. Billy Joel. Yeah, okay, I like Billy Joel. Definitely. Much respect. Wouldn't listen to him all day long, but yeah. Sting, Police, I'm hitting all the kind of classic 80s and 90s music that I grew up with. And of course, some more modern stuff. Diplo, I like Diplo. Skrillex, yeah, sure. Justin Bieber. Well, I listen to a lot of Justin Bieber with the girls, and I do like him. I can sing along to a couple tracks, but well, all right, I like Justin Bieber too. And what I noticed, each time you click an artist that you like, all the ones below that, like that they're about to show you, it's like it goes and it like shifts them around, because obviously you tell it one thing, like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and then it goes, okay, this guy definitely likes rock. Let's throw a few more rock bands in there. Let's throw in Pink Floyd, see if he likes Pink Floyd. Yeah, I like Pink Floyd. So it keeps changing every time you click something, and I like that, but in a way it's also disturbing, because I was wondering if it was kind of limiting my choices. I have a really wide-ranging kind of music taste, so I want to listen to all kinds of stuff. I don't want it to narrow me down. I want it to kind of widen my my horizons, so to speak. Anyway, did this, went through all the I must have clicked like 50. I clicked a lot. Then I said, okay. And it goes, all right, here you go. And it kind of throws up like a mixtape, which is like popular songs and a mix of all the kind of suggestions from what I said I liked. And I hit play. Boom. We start right away. And the first song was like, it was Katy Perry or something, like really pop music. And it's like one of those songs, and I realized, oh, not only is it going off what I just told it now, but it knows my YouTube browsing history, and it's throwing that into the algorithm as well. Because I went down the list, and basically it was all like Justin Bieber and DJ Khaled and like DJ Snake and all the kind of popular pop tracks that my daughters listen to, because they're on a couple computers in our house that are logged in as me on Google and YouTube. So whenever they watch stuff, Google thinks it's me. And I was like, oh no, what have I done? So it was like this weird mix of like 80% of our family browsing history and a couple tracks that I like. And I'm like, the algorithm! You freaking algorithm! So, be careful, folks, when you sign up for YouTube music. Yeah, it could happen to you if your whole family is out there watching under your personal login. Anyway, I just thought I'd talk about that. I'm excited though to be able to like kind of go online anytime now, check out what the popular music is. That was my other observation. I just was listening to like the Hot 100 tracks. They have a playlist that's like the Hot 100 tracks. It's amazing how they all sound like they're produced by 3 people. And that's probably actually true. It's all like the first 20 songs at least were all trap music. Like basically trap music. That's, yeah. And I'm not dissing that. There's some tracks in there I like, but it's amazing how centered everything is. Like, I'm gonna get through the whole 100 and really give you a final judgment on that. But it feels like, you know, everybody's really following a very tight preset template of what kind of music gets into the Hot 100 right now. And I mean, you could have said, you know, you probably could have said that back in the 90s as well. There was definitely, you know, a lot of tracks were similar, you know, grunge music, same kind of thing, right? It all kind of sounded similar. But it feels even more kind of going in that direction. That was my quick judgment from a 47-year-old music lover's perspective. All right, folks, that's it. Good luck. Let me know if you have your favorite streaming music service and what your thoughts are on music of today. And if there's some really cool music out there that I'm probably missing, please let me know in the comments. And hey, I'll search for it on YouTube Music, man. It's free. Well, it's not free. I'm paying $14 a month, but it's worth it. All right. Safe drive, everybody.
If you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.